Good morning, Rabbi Isai. לעילוי נשמת מימרות סירוס מרדכי יום ארבעה וארבעים יום שהם שישה שבועות ושני ימים באייר לא אייר. We have some gewaldige, wonderful guests here. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name?
Shalom Grossness.
Shalom Grossness. And you? Eli. Shalom Aleichem. From London. Shalom Aleichem. Who else do we have? I saw a few. Oh no, Rabbi Benedict. Danny, he's been here already. He's been at 2 shiurim this week.
3.
What?
Also, you pronounce too.
Right. No, this is. Welcome back. We're not gonna. You know what? For you, maybe. Here, Avi Kamyansky's picture. 4 zebras, black and white. This I showed Oilam, I didn't show you. This is what we call a leopard. This is the Floyd Sabar. I mean, the eyes. Looks a little fake, actually. This is vultures. Each one of these is a massive bird. They look small over here, but they're massive. They eat carcasses. That's what they do for a living. This is Melech HaChayos. לא, אני הייתי בספארי. אני מראה להם מה שאני ראיתי. We have a Yerushalmi from next door. He's like, what kind of shear is this? What is going on over here? Okay, so I love this. This is right up. This is from where you're from. Dear Belly, I just saw exactly what happens to people who skip your daf shear. Hashem literally pulls them over so they can see the sign. A cop pulled him over so they could see the sign. He got a ticket because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, but where did he get pulled over? Right by the MDY sign of Kabbalah Satira. It says, climb to Kabbalah Satira with the shear. That's why he got a shtickle zetz. With admiration, laughter, renewed Kabbalah to never miss a shear. If you happen to read this at the shear, please give a big shout out to Rabbi Duvie Schwartzmer, who introduced me to your shear many years ago. You know that? Moshe. Okay. This is when we spoke about the Chanunah Zois. He says you could try HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but you forgot in the same pasuk it says V'yihi teref bevesi, that you could test Hashem to see a teref. And that's what we saw. No, teref. We saw the kill in the safari because they gave $12,000. My 12-year-old son Moshe got into the hotel room with a large flat screen TV and immediately turned on the daf. Out of anything he could have done, he went straight to the daf. Thank you for your impact, Arnon Brownstein. It says Arnon, I guess Aaron, I don't know. Also for Stamford Hill, Mamish, everything today has to do with London. You see that? We need your help to revive MDY Stamford Hill. We have over 200 members, many from Stamford Hill, Westcliff, Canvey Island, who are learning to have a most keep it private. He had conversations with quite a few members, keep discovering this one's a member, but people are keeping it quiet. We previously sent out a survey, nobody responded. We very much want to make a siyum at the end of Shevuos, so we want to get a feel of who would join. We're also trying to set up a WhatsApp group. B'kitzur Rabbi says, start with the WhatsApp group, get accountability going, and Be'ezer Hashem, Modche Groskov, your announcement will make a huge difference in getting our community here. In this email, you can see there's something over here to join. He's your cousin? Well, we were zoicha to bump into Rabbi Yedidia Kramer several times over our trip this past week. We're unfortunately not zoicha to see you. I don't know, why didn't they come to a shir or something? But Baruch Hashem, I see that my son is still going strong while he has the jet lag and is not feeling well, has fever, he has been doing MDY marathon today from one shit to the next. Wishing you Hatzlacha, Alex Gilden. By the way, this picture on the left, he's saying that he did a marathon. I believe him. But this picture on the left was taken in America, not in Eretz Yisrael. How do I know? From the position of the sun. I can see coming through the window. No, if you look at the bottom of the window, the moldings, they don't have this in Eretz Yisrael. Right over there. You see that? That's America. Maskim? Maskim. Mazel tov to Simcha Margie Gross and the birth of Chana Dvar Fega. So while I was videotaping something in the Serengeti, all of a sudden I hear Fisher go, Mazel tov, it's a golden dove, Mazel tov. Mazel tov, the grandparents, the great grandmothers. It seems that going on as far as is gula for granddaughters. Gula for the granddaughters, he said. So I'm going to show them the official worked very hard, spent some nice money on making the Golden Dove videos. I'm going to show it to you. He always talks about the Golden Dove. So I'm going to show it all the way from Brachas. Rabbi say, last night I spoke to Reb Moshe Handler. He's a big part of the shir, as I mentioned. Terrible tragedy. 16-and-a-half-year-old Bechar was nifter. He told me that he was very into Vaharavna, into doing Chazara, into learning. So his neshama should have an aliyah. I spoke to him for a while until some Rosh Yeshiva or somebody came into the room over there. If you speak Yiddish, this is Givaldik. Even if you don't speak, this is the Rachmastrifkse Rebbe's Gabbai, who's saying that when the Rebbe was sick, he used to watch the shir with him.
MosheShavita.com. Hat dort mit der Rebbe's Gabbai, du, von der MDY, hat Eli Stefansky geschrieben.
Gut energy.
Kennst du noch Rachmastrifke mit Eli geschrieben? Wie geht das zusammen?
Eli lebt mit Teure.
So Eli lebt mit Teure. Noch geschrieben, so andere Sachen.
Eli bekommt mit Rebbe gehen nicht gesinnt. Jede Nacht lernen. Am Rebbe mit Zimmer. Wir sind auf der ganze Nacht. Und ich habe gelernt bei einem mit Zimmer.
Am Rebbe sind wir gelernt nach Berlin.
Zusammen, der Rebbe geht hier.
Unbelievable. Fine.
The Masechta sponsored anonymous Hatzlacha bruchnius v'gashmius. Monthly sponsors Parnasa Birevach Baruch Tzvi Nissim ben Shoshana Leah. ActualEyes in honor of David, Duvie, Merkin of Eastern Union, and all Silver Spring daffers. Oh, the guys on Zoom, huh? What about the ambassadors? Oh, I didn't write down the list. We need Rabbi Isai. We have over 1,000 people that joined the retention program, the accountability retention, but we're still looking for ambassadors in the following cities. In Toronto, come on, Toronto. Pennsylvania, that I can understand. Australia, Rabbi's in Australia. We would like to make a trip to Australia. The Olam is invited, but yeah, in a year from now, or whenever it's nice over there. Maybe in a few.
Hello. Join the trip that's already happening.
No, we're doing an MDY trip.
Make it an MDY trip.
You could come on our trip. You could sit next to me and do your thing.
Then I'll come on your trip.
Okay. We just went on a trip. We're not going 2 months later.
In November.
In November? No, we have to wait a whole. Anyway, South Africa, Georgia. We need a guy in Georgia, Texas, Long Island, not the 5 towns. Long Island, not the 5 towns of Rockaway. Boston. We have a nice chaver there. West Hempstead, California. Oy vey, California. Oy vey. Hillel's in charge of getting a guy in California. In Hebrew, we need Beersheba, Ashdod, Ashkelon, and Tzfon Eretz Yisrael. Okay, Givaldik. Eli Dyckman for the Refuah sheleimah of tינוק ben Rivka. Weekly sponsors Dov Eisenberg in honor of the members of Chaver in Bergen County. Teamwork makes the dream work. I got to show you the video of them changing out the tire in the middle of the Serengeti, right in front of the cheetahs. Anonymous, nishmas Mital Na'mי Bas Ruven, a mother of 13 was just nefteres on Yud Gimel Eir. Anonymous, tינוק Adironem ben Ilana Sarah b'schus hachazok yisrael diadav yizkimeheir lefuah sheleimah min HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Eli Ashir, Refuah sheleimah from Moshe ben Nidza, Lakewood, Central Jersey, MDY family. Leah nishmas habacher David Yitzchok Handler olav shalom ben yibad l'chaim toivim Reb Moshe, son of our dear friend and fellow Lakewood MDY Rabbi Isai. It gives him a lot of chizuk. Whoever goes to be Menachem Avel, he told me all the people that came to be Menachem Avel. He started listing them off. This one drove in, and this one came in, and this one, and this one. It means a lot, each one. And again, Lili Nishmas HaBacher Chaim Zelig Arye Berel Olav Shalom and HaBacher Rafal Faham Olav Shalom, the 3 boys who were killed in that terrible accident. And there's still one, what?
Burl is his last name, not Beryl.
Oh, Burl, sorry. HaBacher Chaim Zelig Arye Berel Olav Shalom, right, and Fam. And there's another Bacher in critical condition still. Daily Span, one boy walked away just with the surgery on his hand, and a lot of trauma. Ami, Yitzi, Schmerling, with Hakar Satov, the official Simcha, and the entire Gross family. A lot of people have Hakar Satov to him. Anonymous, L'Refuah sheleimah, Etobelo, Bas Malka. Remind me, please, somewhere in the middle of the show, the Golden Dove. MDY Kids Monthly, Innovations, Chus Official, Chanan, Kiva, Rivki, Mrs. Stefansky, Art of the Month. Rabbi said, take a look right now while I'm reading this. Take a look at Chavav, Amud Aleph. If you look at it, you'll see it's basically Agadah to the whole thing. It definitely has the shape of an Agadah to Daf. For Schus for Belly and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoy so many. In honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work they do. Gewaldig. It happens to be a pretty easy daf. There's 1 and 2 lines of Agadata in there. But listen, the shape is Agadata. That's what counts today. And then but these are no jokes. I don't want to be the boy that cried wolf. But these are the first 3-4 daf is pure Agadata, just Agadata. First time ever. Huh?
You're like putting a little giraffe on a safari when you haven't seen anything.
Oh, here's the video of Mo Landy changing. Oh, it's a picture. See, these guys, they do this for a living. Their tires go out all the time. So Mo Landy took over. He became Chaverim. A few other guys jumped in there. Givaldik. Okay. Who? Jack. Oh, first of all, Shalom Aleichem to you. What's your name? Isaac. Safti. From? Flatbush. Shalom Aleichem. Where's Jack?
Right next to him.
Oh. What are you hiding like that? Get over here. Get over. Come on, Jack. Get over here. Wow. The man who started the monthly. We should. Oh, once he's here. Listen, it's Erev Rosh Chodesh. You do the shlah. And here, come. Real quickly. I didn't have your hair. Shalom Aleichem. How you doing, Tzaddik? Haven't seen you. I thought you were going to come on the trip with us next time.
I would have loved to.
No, what happened? You come there
I didn't think I was an animal guy, but then I saw those videos. They looked,
Everybody didn't think that. People,
those cheetahs.
it's dangerous. Even when you're not an animal guy, some people just wanted to stay there. They didn't want to come home. We had to force them back on the plane. It was a whole. What's going on, Tzaddik?
Baruch Hashem.
Tell us about your monthly thing in where is it? Not in Deal, in Flatbush, in New York.
In Flatbush, yeah, they have a monthly thing that if there's a wedding, like 1,500 people's credit cards get swiped.
How much?
And the intention was to raise $26,000 for every chasana.
The 15,000 people on this
but there's
thing.
a lot of people that are coming in, so
You know what we should do?
8,000 a chasana.
We should get 15,000 people on the group. Every time we have a new Masechta that we need a new Gemara, we swipe the credit card.
I was going to say every safari trip, you swipe everybody's credit card.
That's why you didn't come. You're scared.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
Your kids are scared for starting the monthly for us. And it's a reminder for everybody. Whoever's not on the monthly, why? Why should they do it?
To grow this year.
And how much should they give every month?
I think around $1,000 a month that should be fair.
Shkoyach, Jack. Wow. Keep it up. Yishkoyach. I just said the story about Deal when I got to Aliyah, and this guy said, "Is it common that people say $18,000, $22,000, $52,000 in that shul?"
Never. We have to pray in the back.
I did. I down in the back. They found me. Trust me. That guy looks like he could do better. Right. $10. All right, let's go. Rabbi said we're holding in the middle of the sugya. It's by the wide lines. Daf Amud Beis. We had a machlokes between Rav and Shmuel. When you make a shvuah, when you swear, does it have to be something that could also be in the future? There's certain things that you cannot swear about the future. Things that are not in your control, you can't swear about. You can't make a shvuah. Shmuel says if it's not possible to happen in the future, then you cannot swear about it in the past. And therefore, sheleimah Shmuel, like 3 lines from where it becomes wide, something that's not possible to happen in the future cannot happen. You can't make a shvuah about the past. Shevuos Eidos. What Shevuos Eidos? We discussed it at the end of yesterday's shir. Shevuos Eidos is a shvuah. You say, somebody comes to you and says, "Listen, I know that you. I saw that you witnessed my accident. I need you to testify for me. It happens all the time. That guy ran a red light, whatever, and the guy is not interested in testifying. So he says, I swear I didn't see it." Now, if there wasn't a special pasuk in the Torah about that, what kind of shvuah would that be? Bituy. Shvuas bituy. Shvuas bituy. That's called shvuas bituy. But the Torah goes out of its way and makes a special pasuk talking about shvuas ha'edos. Now, since shvuas ha'edos cannot be possible, you can't say I won't testify for you in the future, because you're not allowed to do that, and you don't know about testimony in the future. So according to Shmuel, this wouldn't be a good shvuas bituy. So there would be no such thing. You wouldn't be chayiv on something like that because it's not possible in the future. So it makes sense that the Torah speaks about it on its own. According to Rav, that you don't need something in the future. And then why does the Torah make a special type of shvuah called Shevuos ha'edus? So the Rabbanan told Abaya, we think that the pshat is you're right. The Torah doesn't need to tell it to us, but the Torah wants to ding you twice. One time because you said a false shvuah, it's a shvuas bitui. The other one is because you said a shvuas edus. Check this out. I think it's very clear here. In Pasuk Aleph it says, "Im lo yagid," if you won't say your testimony, v'nas havayna, you get an avera. What's that talking about? Shvuas ha'edus. Pasuk Dal talks about oy nefesh kisishava levate. Sounds like bitui. Shvuas bitui. What does Pasuk Hay say? V'hoya kiyesham la'achas meila. I could only get you on one of these two. So it says Mefurish in the Pasuk, I can't get you on two. So how Abai tells the Rabbanan, it's impossible what you're saying. How could it mean that you're chayiv two karbanas when the Torah says la'achas meila, you only get one of these two karbanas? Okay, very good. So it's not such a kunz to knock somebody else's pshat, but now you have to come up with the pshat. I'm going to ask you again. Why is it that the Torah specifies and talks specifically about a Shevuos ha'edus? The Torah doesn't talk about somebody that swearing that he's not going to sleep, and somebody that swears that he threw a stone into the ocean. And so, why dafka? I don't know testimony for you. So what's the pshat? Look at this anya, because there's something very special about Shevuos ha'edus. In all these different things that we learned about a carbon oil of Yored, whether it's Tumas Mikdash of Kadash, if a guy walks in the Beis Hamikdash not knowing that he's in the Beis Hamikdash, not knowing that he's Tamei, Shevuos, all these carbon, the Shevuos. It says the word V'nelam. He forgot. V'kan, by the Shevuos ha'edus linemar V'nelam, which is a huge chiddush. Here we have a situation, l'chayev ala mezid kashogig. Dafkan only by Shevuos ha'edus, when a person deliberately says, he knows what he's doing. He knows that he witnessed the car accident. He's just not interested in now spending a few days in court. So he lies and he says, I don't know. I haven't been there. I don't know what you're talking about. A guy like that has to bring a carbon oil of a yored when he did it deliberately. Every carbon that we know about is a carbon that somebody does when he made a mistake. When he's Mechal Shabbos by mistake. He went into the Beis Hamikdash by mistake. He was Tomei by mistake. Not when he does it deliberately. Here's a massive chiddush, says Abaya. It makes a lot of sense. Why there's a special pasuk by Shevuos ha'edus. Who told you? Maybe that's not what the pasuk is coming for. Maybe the pasuk is coming for something else. Maybe you should be chayiv too for the shoygig, which we're going to see. A chiddush atzum ma'od. I'm going to say it now so that we remember it. What's the chiddush? The chiddush is that the shoygig could be that you didn't know, you knew that what you're doing is wrong. You're 100% amazed. The shoygig is, you didn't know you have to bring an animal for that. You didn't know it's going to cost you $500. That's a shoygig. You ever heard of such a thing? That's what the Gemara says, massive chiddush shalom aleichem, all the way in the corner in the back. Hello? What's your name? Avizar. From? Shalom aleichem. Welcome. So, that's the chiddush. That if you forgot, you have to bring carbon or melhu. Says Abaya, no. I just explained that to you. La'achas. You can't get the guy for two. There's no carbon. We just explained that there's a massive chiddush when a person is on purpose doesn't testify, then he brings a carbon. But you cannot bring a second carbon on the bitui part. The chiddush of mezid is only on Shevuos ha'edus, not on Shevuos bitui. So if a guy does this deliberately, he wouldn't have to bring two karbanas. Only one. Rava Omar, and Rava explains, Mishum dahavet davar shebeklal v'yotz lidim b'davar chodosh. Shevuos ha'edus was part of all the Shevuos. There's a lot of Shevuos. There's Shevuos Sheker, Shevuos Bitui, Shevuos Shav. Why is this so special, says Rava? Because it has a chiddush in it. What's the chiddush? Where do you testify for Shevuos Eidus? Only in Bezdin. Who testifies Shevuos Eidus? Only somebody that's roi to testify. Somebody that's kosher Eidus. Somebody that is pasal Eidus, a ganav, misachik bekubia, a gambler. He cannot testify Shevuos Eidus. So it was yotzim in a klal. It's a special chiddush. In other words, it's on its own, by itself. And not what? Its own category, and has nothing to do with Shevuos Bitoy. Don't try to put Shevuos Bitoy on top of a Shevuos Eidus. Shevuos Eidus is its own little category, own Chidush Gadol, that it only applies when you testify in Bezin for somebody that could testify. And don't try to add Shevuos Bitoy to it. So it comes out, Miklad Abaye Sover Isel Shvuah Bailam. Very simple. Yesterday I didn't have this very simple chart, but I think it helps a lot. I saw people, mamish, they were like spinning their heads. On the left side, it comes out, Rava is basically saying like Abaya. Shevuos Eidus is Shevuos Eidus all by itself. One thing. Abaya says no. When somebody swears, Nishba, Shelo Yodei Eidus, the top category, he swears he doesn't know Eidus, then he has two problems going for him. He's going to have to bring two korbanos, or two problems, not two korbanos. First of all, it's Shevuos Eidus. Second of all, it's Shevuos Bitoy. No. I did it on purpose. Because that's the Gemara's question now. It's a contradiction. I'm just saying, if what I just said, it should have said Rava, but no, don't change it. Leave it as is. The Gemara just says, Rava is basically saying what Abaye says, that it's by itself. As it says the Gemara, you see these words, 3 lines from the bottom. Miklal Abaye Sovar Isel Shvuah Bailam. If Rava says what Abaye says on the right side, that means Abaye is saying what he says on the left side. He argues on Rava. He argues on the right. He says something different. That what? Shevuos Eidus is also Shevuos Bitoy. But the problem is, yesterday we already established, Rama Abaye, Moide Rav, Abaye is the one that says this. That Rav agrees, when he swears, I know Eidus. And then we find out he doesn't know the potter. Why? Because Rav is of the opinion you need to have a hein v'lav. You need to have a positive and a negative. When a person swears, I know Eidus for you, and then we find out he doesn't, he should be completely potter because you can't do it in the negative. You can't say, it's also for you to say, I don't know Eidus. So it's not in the negative. That's what we said yesterday. Memelo what? The Shevuos Eidus removes the Shevuos Bitoy, we said. It stands all by itself. That's what we said yesterday. Shevuos Eidus by itself, like Abaya on the right. There's only one thing going on here. When a person swears, it can't be Shevuos Bitoy. Why can't it be Shevuos Bitoy? Because you don't have a lav and a hein. So we're left all by ourselves with Shevuos Eidus. So we have a contradiction. On the one hand, yesterday we said that Abaya holds that when a person says, I don't know Eidus, he's only over on one thing, Shevuos Eidus. And now we're saying that he's over on two things. So in order to get out of it, we have to do one or two things. First of all, we say, Hadar be'Abaye mahi. What we said yesterday on the right side, Abaye retracted. Later on in life, he decided that you're over on two things. So it's not a contradiction. Another pshat, one of these two you pick. I don't know which one. We don't have a contradiction. Either Rav Papa said that it's one thing, it's only one Shevuah, or Rav Papa said it's two Shevuos. Now, why in the world do we pick Rav Papa? Yeah, I had the question until I saw this little tiny Tosfos. Maybe Rav Zera, maybe I don't know who. Rav Zvid. Why Rav Papa? Says Tosfos, the Molach Basar Abaye v'Rava. He was the Rosh Hashiva right there in Abaye and Rava's place, and he was the following. He was the next Rosh Hashiva. We don't know. The Talmidim got confused. They said, "Oh, Abaye must have said it." No, it wasn't Abaye. It was Rav Papa himself. Okay. Now we have. This is not a gadata, but it's literally word for word. The next 14, 15 lines is literally what we said yesterday, word for word. So we're going to do a quick chazara here. Reb Shmuel Oimer in Chayev ala Asa Lavoi. Reb Shmuel says that a Elo al Asa Lavoi. You're only chayev a shvuah that's in the future, not a shvuah that has to do with the past. Why? It says in the pasuk, you swore for the bad, for the good. Perhaps it's dafka, something that's bad and good. What about something that's neither? Parav. I want to swear about something. I I'm going to go to sleep in an hour. It's not good, it's not bad. Okay? Any shvuah. So this only lahara, lahetiv means in the future. How do I know the past? Refuah says, anything that a person says out with his mouth in a shvuah works even from the past. No, it says mafurish in the pasuk in the future. Lahaba means in the future. If you're going to be a stickler to the words and you're going to take the word lahara to the only means the future and to exclude the past, so let's be a stickler. Let's use those two words that you're being very tough about and say it says mafurish, bad and good. So it only can be a shvuah about bad and good. I'm going to smoke. I'm going to do something bad, not something that's part. Oh, so that was the setup that Rabbi Kiva did. He knew he was going to go there. So Rabbi Shmuel tells him, no. There's a pasuk that says, "L'chol asher yivata." Right? We had that a second ago. Everything. I knew you were going to say that. If l'chol asher yivata means even parav, so then it could also mean the past. Says the Gemara. Okay, so now that we did these 14 freebie lines, no, it's great. He says a good title.
He explains it's not just a yisur. There's a second yisur in the pasuk. An extra yisur in the pasuk.
What do you mean?
It says levata b'susayim in the ratio of the pasuk. The whole sheyavata, he says you're right. You're asking that there's a reboot for the end. There's also a reboot in the beginning.
Yesterday we said it from there. L'chol sheyavata. Interesting. Omer Birevach Shmuel sheshimish is ruchnius ben akona. Rabbi say, I had a little. My chavrusa told me that somebody I know very well, so maybe he might be sitting in this room now. So I have no idea who he is. Badness, I don't know who he is. He said he came over to him after. He says, "Can you explain to me more what the ribui is? Klal prato klal." So I said, I remember Mendy coming over to me after shir saying specifically. It was very easy, and I told him, I bet you that a 10-year-old kid in my shir could repeat it. So I asked the Olam yesterday, and there was a 13, 14-year-old Bacher Schechter. He said it over, and this is months ago. That was a month after we learned it. How about you? You remember? You know the difference between ribui, klal, brother klal? No, make me feel good over here. Show me chavrusa. Go, say. Say even you don't have to know exactly. Be'erecht. What is it? What?
What is it speaking in Arsuga or just
Stamazoi.
Ribui makes something bigger, something that's, let's say, says this word, so it's telling you that also in this case you're going to be chayav, let's say.
Yeah.
And you, it says an extra word, so you could say that it's memad. Only over there is
right. Chayav. Very good. And what's klal? Do you know the difference between a klal, prato klal? They're very similar. It's the same words.
Klal, then let's say he says kol of dasachicha, and then after he says prat, only this thing, and then he says, this like or sana or chamor.
Wow. So which one is memayit more stuff? Klal prato klal or ribui miut ribui? One is a klal that says you can do everything. Then it goes down to prat, but we have to take away some stuff. Miut also takes away some stuff. So which one takes away more stuff?
The prat.
Prat takes away more stuff? Excellent. See that? Nachas from the Enikel. But I have nachas. I literally told him in when I was learning with him, sitting right over, I said, 10-year-old could say it over. I was probably thinking about him.
10-year-old is cute.
He's a regular. He's one of our weakest 10-year-olds we have here today. I picked on the weakest one. What are you talking about?
Half the people
Okay, so anyways. Lamaisa, it's very simple. If you didn't understand what he said, I could show you a video. Imamish. This is ganz fine actually. Checked it out. This is what's the difference between klal, prat, klal, and ribui miut. Here we go.
I'm sorry, we are out of shawarma.
But my dad asked me to.
What did he say exactly?
Get me something to eat. Shawarma.
Aha! You see, your father said, get me something, and then narrowed it to shawarma. He only meant to exclude falafel and salad, which aren't like shawarma at all. But schnitzel in a baguette is an option. That's the ribuy umiyut method. But according to the klal prat method, shawarma comes to explain, get me something, and then we're stuck. Wait, did your father say anything else?
Rabbi, could you explain to me what he wants from my life?
Then it continues. Hold on. I don't know why they didn't choose everything.
Wait, did your father say anything else?
I have a recording. Here.
Get me something to eat. Shawarma. Or whatever.
Yes, since your father added whatever, it adds another step. According to the klal uprat method, it adds the schnitzel. And according to the ribuy umiyut method, which already included the schnitzel, it comes to add everything. And the miyut excludes one thing, the lettuce salad. Because, let's be honest, that's rabbit food. And all this because he also said whatever. Got it?
Whatever.
Okay, so the point is, this was to confuse Dailam a little bit. I think he explained it a lot easier. But when you do a ribuy miyut ribuy, you include everything, but you have to exclude one thing because there's a miyut, there's an exclusion. So you exclude one item only. It doesn't have it. It's the one that's the furthest away from what you're dealing with. You're dealing with shawarma, so what's the furthest thing away? Salad, rabbit food. When you do a prat klal prat, a klal prat to klal, then you exclude anything that's similar to the prat. So you're excluding more items. Not what? Not similar to the, yeah. So not similar, exactly. So here we go. It's not a big sugi here. So it's not that difficult. Makes a lot of sense. Rabbi Shmuel, he was Mishamish, he was the Gabbai of Rabbi Nechuni ben Akana, he learned by him. And we said that anybody that learns klal uprat klal learns it in all of the Torah. Anybody that learns ribuy miyut ribuy, which is basically using the same exact words, just it's a different style slightly, he learns like that in the whole Torah. So it makes sense that Rabbi Shmuel was the Talmud of Rabbi Nechuni ben Akana, so he dorish kol Torah kula, the entire Torah, b'klal uprat. You nami dorish b'klal uprat. So in our sugya he'll also use klal uprat. Rabbi Kiva, sheshimish es nachamish gamzu. He was the Talmud of Nachamish Gamzu. So Doirish is called Torah Kula, but Ribo Miyat, Yunami Doirish, Ribo Miyat. Okay, so first of all, stop to talk about a minute for Nachamish Gamzu. He used to say Gamzu L'Toiva. That's why his name is Nachamish Gamzu. What would Rabbi Kiva say? Something similar. Kol man dover Rachmana L'Tavavid. What's the difference? One is Gamzu L'Toiva, one is Kol man dover. No. Close. Nachamish Gamzu said, right now, I don't know and I don't care. Gamzu L'Toiva. Right now it's good. Rabbi Kiva said, eventually I'll find out. Come on, the tav of it. Eventually, it's a little bit of a lesson madrega. I'll give you an example. On the safari, we drove for 2.5 hours. This is a chiddush that I asked the guys on the safari. They didn't know, so I'm going to ask Reb Noam Fix now, because he didn't hear me say this. Why did we drive for 2.5 hours and we didn't see a thing until we got to the cheetah? Every day we saw stuff. Gamzu l'toiva. That what? Had we stopped for a second to look at a lion, we would have missed the cheetah. We had to go 2.5 hours without seeing anything. Emes. 100%. We stop. Anytime you see something interesting, you see a herd of elephants, you stop. You look at the baby elephant in this. You see a couple of lions walking around, you stop. Another 5 minutes, we would have missed the whole thing. I remember driving away from the cheetah kill. Mom, it's just a few minutes. We watched them eat it and then move it. And then jeeps came. We said, wow, such losers. Mom, I missed it by 2 minutes. That would have been us. How are you there? Yeah? Okay. So there's a Gamzu L'Toiva to know on the spot. Huh? Also, okay. That already said all the Nissim and the Floys. It was the last thing. Had we seen it in the beginning of our trip, the whole trip would have been downhill from there. You see it at the end. You're waiting for that. Boom. Close the trip, go home.
Nachamish Gamzu was from the city of Gimzu also, that's why he was called.
Yeah, there's different things. Don't ruin it. This is good. Yeah.
It sounds much better.
Much better. Okay, so
Don't let the facts get in the way.
Exactly. So, so we have Rebbe Kiva who does ribuy, and Rebbe Shmuel does klal prat klal. What's the nafkamina? My Rebbe Kiva the Dorish ribuy, the sanya oy nefesh kisi shava riba. Okay, so let's go over here. Very pashut. We have oy nefesh kisi shava. You hear this? Oops, sorry, it's not on it. Oh, they do see it. Okay. We have all the Shevuos. Nobody look behind you. That's for me. Something's messed up over there. Okay? That's the ribuy. Every Shevuah in the world. And then we have a miyut. Miyut says, Lahara Lehedav is in the Torah. Only for bad and good. Then we have another ribuy. We put everything back. But so what were we memait? We're going to be memait one little thing, and that is levatel mitzvah. One thing that is the furthest away from everything. If somebody says, I don't want to do a lulav, that is not a good shvuah. Now, what happens when you do the klal prat klal? It's the same exact thing. Just we're gonna remove another item, one more item. It removes more items like this. What's his name again? What's your name? Yisrael said. Klal and everything. Prat. What's the prat, Rabbi Isai? Lahora lehetiv. And what's the klal? Same thing. It's the same words, but the outcome is different. You have levatel mitzvah, and says Rabbi Shmuel, I need to take something else out. The past. Okay. We have an inclusion, exclusion, and a riba. Riba call, you put everything back. My riba call mile all Shevuos. My miyad, and what did he take out? Miyad dvar mitzvah, we only take out one thing. Very small darsh klal prat. Klal lahora lehetiv prat. It's the same thing. We're using the same words. We're using different words. Instead of ribu, we call it a klal. Instead of a miut, we call it a prat. Lahora lehetiv prat. Klal. V'kolal klalu pratu klal. Yatadon elikena prat. Has to be similar. Oh, the difference is it has to be similar to the prat. Ma prat mefurosh lahaba. It says mefurosh lahora lehetiv, which means in the future. Afkol lahaba. And so it helps us to say even things that don't have. Here, let me just show you. Even things that, if it's the future, it doesn't have to be bad and good. It could be parav also. And what does the prat come? Even things that fit into the Ravatov, but they're in the past. Past is no good. As the Gemara, Epoch, we always do an Epoch. Check this out. How do you do an Epoch over here? Who told you what the klal comes to be marba? Maybe it's the opposite. The klal will be marba ran toiv of the past. The prat will be mimat. Here, let's do this. You see, like it used to be like this. Maybe it should be like that. Just flip the things around. Who told you what the klal is marba and what the prat is mimat? Maybe it's mimat when there's no ran toiv in the future. You have to have ran toiv in the future. Maybe ran toiv is serious. Says the Gemara, the klal has to be similar to ran toiv. Something that you're over by breaking something. If it happened in the past, you're not breaking it. You're just lying. So it has to be something that you could break. That you say you're going to do something and you don't do it. That's breaking. Benny, I want to show you this before you run. Let me just explain it. I want you to see this because it's very chashuv. It's really for Noam Fix and a few other people, but whatever. So the Gemara is just saying that the Shevuah comes before the act, not the act happened yesterday. I ate and I didn't eat. So the act happened already, and then you make a Shevuah on it, that's no good. You need to make a Shevuah about an act that's going to happen. Check this out.
What to learn and how to learn is another item. So the gold standard we learned in yeshiva is iyun. So let me share with you just a few words about the yeshiva system. It is clear to any Talmud Chochem. Ikar mitzvahs Talmud Torah lilmed almanas lasis. We are supposed to learn Torah ludas es aderech neilech bo ve'et ha'maaseh asher yasun. Ikar mitzvahs Talmud Torah is to learn halacha, Musar as well as halacha, because when we use the posuk, the phrase et aderech neilech bo ve'et ha'maaseh asher yasun, it is not only halachas, it is also avodas ukeil. But derech neilech bo means how to come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how to have feelings for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how to live with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Iyun is not the right thing. The yeshiva system is geared to teach us how to learn. But if all life we will be trying to figure out how to learn, when will you finally learn? And learning means knowing halacha, knowing Musa. So I think it's a huge mistake for married people, working people, to spend most of their time on iyun. Most of the time needs to be dedicated to learn halacha, to learn Musa. And why is it so important to learn Gemara? Because Gemara is the basis for everything. Musa comes from Gemara, Hasidus comes from Gemara, Halacha comes from Gemara. When we talk about Torah Shebal Peh, essentially we mean Mishnah and Gemara. Everything else is included, but Torah Shebal Peh is Chazal. Chasimas HaTalmud is a milestone. It was a very significant transformation. And that is why this huge industry of Daf Yomi is important, because Gemara is the fundament. It's the basis. But I think it's very important for working Balabatim to learn halacha, to learn either Misra and Hasidus, just to rekindle your spirit and bring you closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But what is extremely important is Kviyas Itam L'Torah.
Very pleasure. Dennis. All right, what? I knew you were going to like it. Okay? A lot of people ask me, but why Gemara? Well, we learn Chumash every day. What's wrong? No, because the Gemara has it all. It has the Musar, it has the Agadita, it has the everything. Like you said, it has Hatzlacha. It's the basis. Okay.
The Gemara says shlish, shlish, shlish.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
No.
5 minutes ready. Have to start the Daf.
No, the shears ends at 8:10, so it's 15 minutes. Torah Rabbana. No, that's another one. I don't know if, okay, we'll have to do it when we turn the Daf. Torah Rabbana Adam b'Shevuos prat l'anus. What does it say in the pasuk? It has a bunch of words. I didn't highlight all the words because it was too many to highlight, but it's like, it gives you an idea. Ha'adam b'Shevuos v'nela mimenu, right? Prat l'anus. A person who by mistake made a shvuah, it doesn't bring a carbon. V'nelam, you forgot, prat l'mezid, you do it on purpose. We saw, there's one case of mezid rabbi side that you make a shvuah, but mezid yichai a carbon, which is what? Shvuah ha'edus. Not talking about that now. Mimenu, shenisal mimenu shvuah, you forgot the shvuah, yochel shenisal mimenu chayvetz. It's not that you forgot the item, you forgot the shvuah. Tamaloi meber shvuah v'nelam. Al helim shvuah chayiv, the Gemara is going to explain everything. You're only chayiv for forgetting the shvuah. You're chayiv al helim chayvetz. And you're not chayiv if you forget the item. Now we're going to go into it. Omar Mar Adam b'Shvuah prat l'anus. Hey Chidami, what does it mean a person forgot? This is Agadita. Here it is, right here. What does it mean you forgot that you're oinus? So the Gemara the Rav Kahana v'Ravasi, two Talmidim, the famous Talmidim, Rav Kahana and Ravasi, have a kaivim kamei the Rav. They would sit and listen to the shir by Rav. My first day in Passaic, very chashiv yeshiva in America, Meir Stern, should be gesund, because Baruch should give him Refuah sheleimah. He, great yeshiva. First day, a guy comes over to me, a random guy says, Shalom Aleichem. He says, look around here in the room, tell me who the worst bacher in yeshiva is. Oh, I just came back from Panovich, I love this kind of stuff, it was gewaldic. I said, I looked around, there was only one guy that had brown pants in the whole building. Everybody wore black, blue, brown pants, and one guy, that same guy, had longer hair. That guy, worst guy in yeshiva. He says, you shaita, that's the best guy in the yeshiva. Start over. He just wanted me to pick him. He knew I was going to choose him. and that was Wolf. What's his name? Wolf. I forgot his name. Wow. He's a Rashiva today in Yerushalayim. He was the Chayzer. He would space out. He'd look at the ceiling and then he would repeat the whole shir word for word from Ramesh. He's a huge Bal Kishrin. So Rav Kahana and Rav Asi, imagine you have two famous Amoraim, and they're arguing about what the Chazar shir is, what happened in the shir. And they got so heated that one of them said, I swear this is what Rav said. And the other one said, I swear this is what Rav said. Obviously one of them is lying. One of them is making a Shevuos sheker over here. So they went, no, Rebbe, what did you say? I said exactly like you. So the other guy looks, wow, Rav Kahana or Rav Asi, we don't know who. So, terribly embarrassed. He asks his Rebbe, so what, I'm chayv on a Shevuos sheker? No. Your heart fooled you. That's not a Shevuos sheker. You thought that's what you heard. That's an oinus. You hear that? That's an oinus. Let me ask you a question. If you thought that this is chocolate, it's milchiks, and you swore it's milchiks, but it happens to be parav, oinus or not oinus? It's oinus. It's oinus. So then why do you have to tell me this story over here with the Rav Kahana? Anything that you thought is A, and it turns out to be B, is oinus. So, huh?
It's also Tav, the Bar
Mitzvah. That's what it is. Oh, so maybe the Ran in the Dorim explains this Gemara. He says because over here you have a Rav Kahana standing against you, and he's saying, "I heard Rav saying like this. What are you swearing for? At least be choisha that he might be right. If you're on your own and you're making a shvuah, this is milk in this place. Okay, fine. But you have a gadol adar standing in front of you. At least take into consideration what he's saying. By you making shvuah, I would think you should tackle over or something. It's like he's saying, carve amazing maybe. I don't. No, that's also oidus. V'nela memeno, let's keep on going. V'nela memeno salam memeno shvuah. Yochel shen salam memeno chayfetz. Perhaps it's talking about that you forgot about the item, not the shvuah. Tamaloimer b'shvuah v'nela memeno. It's similar to what we had in the beginning of the Masechta, forgetting that the Tumah, forgetting the Beis Hamikdash. Similar. It's only chayav when you forget that you made the shvuah, not that you forgot about the item. The Mamish made fun of this in Eretz Yisrael. I can understand if a person forgot a shvuah. You're going to Omar, he said, I'm not going to eat bread, wheat bread. And then he thought that he meant that he is going to eat. He said, I'm not going to eat, and he thought he said, I am going to eat. Okay, so he forgot the shvuah. The shvuah, he forgot the shvuah. And he did remember the item, the bread. But what does it mean he forgot the item? He thought that he meant regular wheat, and he meant barley. He remembered the shvuah, he forgot the item. No! In essence, he forgot the shvuah, not the item. You forgot that you made a shvuah on this. You didn't forget an item. It's impossible to forget an item. The whole point is that you forgot the shvuah on that item. You're right. You forgot a shvuah, you forgot an item, is all the same thing. No, says Rav Yosef, I have a way out of this. I could find a way. He swore he's not going to eat wheat bread. Like the famous Maisa, there's a really famous Maisa. It's a good one. I thought everybody knew it, but there was at least 10% of the people that didn't know it, so I'm going to say it. There's a guy sitting, waiting for a plane in the airport. You saw this one? I don't know what you guys see or don't see. And he took out his bag of cookies. He was in a terminal in the airport. That's how my story goes. Your story is different. In my book, it says he was in a terminal waiting for a plane, and he opened up his bag of cookies, and he started eating his cookies, and he sees this guy next to him, and Smuchutzav stuck his hand into his bag of cookies and took a cookie. And he didn't know what to do. He said, he's going to work on himself, he's going to be mvater, and the guy's probably hungry, cookie. He takes a cookie, this guy takes a cookie. The kids are, before he knows it, the bag is almost finished. There's one cookie left. The guy takes out the final cookie, cracks it in half, and gives him half. He says, Mama, she's burning mad. Chutzpah of this guy, taking my cookies, and not only that, he gives me a half. I'm a sugar nut, but he doesn't say anything. Eventually, when they start calling people to get on the plane, he starts taking stuff together, and he realizes that in his bag he has a fresh bag of cookies. He was taking from that guy wasn't taking from him. That's what happened over here. He stuck his hand into a place he shouldn't be sticking his hand into. He thought he's grabbing his stuff, his chitim. He took it out of tzayrim. Well, chitim. Because he thought he's eating barley. The Shevuos, he remembers the Shevuah. It's almost like a misasik. Like we said, he thought it's attached, not attached. Doesn't make sense what you're saying. He tells his Rebbe, Rav Yosef. He thought that he didn't make a Shevuah on this. That's why he ate the cookie. It's not about taking the wrong cookie. It's about not knowing that there's a Shevuah on this cookie, on this bread. That's back to square one. You forgot that there's a Shevuah. Another way to say it, Rav Yosef, carbon the Kamaisi Allah, thy pass, why is he bringing a carbon? Not because he ate a cookie, because he made a Shevuah not to eat the cookie. He forgot the Shevuah on this cookie. Why would he stop? Because if somebody would tell him, hey, that's wheat, he would stop. Not if somebody told him, hey, that's a Shevuah, you made a Shevuah on that. What information was he missing? He was missing that it's wheat and not barley. So that's a case of forgetting that it's wheat. We mamish had this exact question, word for word, and the whole sugya, word for word, basically, on if a person forgot that he's in the Beis HaMikdash, or a person forgot that he's tamei. And the Gemara says, what if he forgot both of them? What do you mean? He forgot that there's a shvuah, so therefore he's chayiv. So the Gemara, no, but he forgot the item that he swore about, upater, and that is pater. Even though I have to show the video of official, I'm going to show it tomorrow because we ran out of time. Be'ez Hashem. Two bachrim in a dormitory. This happens all the time. It happens with couples a lot. One bacher was freezing cold. He wanted to close the window. The other bacher was boiling hot. He wanted the window open. So one of the bachrim, he waited for his friend to basically fall asleep. And as soon as he was about to fall asleep, he knew he was not going to get out of bed for this. He went ahead and he closed the window. So the bacher he couldn't get out of bed. He was tired. So he took his shoe and threw it with all his might at the window and broke the window. So now he won. It's geschmack. The wind was coming in. He felt good the whole night. Everything's good. In the morning, he wakes up. He sees that he broke the mirror, not the window. And when I was a caterer, I told you this a few times, every single wedding, women would come over to me and say, it's way too cold in here. Make it hotter. So the first time I said, take your iron. You have an iron deficiency. It's 70s. I got a smack in the face. And I never did it again. Not mamish. So what I did, I developed a trick. There was a thermostat on the wall, but it was covered with the plastic. I had a key. Open it up. I went like this. I left it at the same exact spot, and I just moved it because it's 70 degrees. 70 is good. Without fail, people would come over to these same women. Thank you for being such a mensch. Mamish, it's beautiful now. It feels so good. It's mamish, it's hot, it's good, it's perfect. So, what's the shaykhis here? I have no idea. So says the Gemara, Omer Ravashi, Chazina Machal Shvuah Kaparish, Harihel and Shvuah B'Yod V'Chayev. Mamish, these are the words that we had before. You just check out to see what happened here. Why did this guy stop? Is it because you mentioned the word shvuah, or is it because you mentioned the word chayfetz? That means what? Chazinon. We check it out. If you say the word shvuah and he says, okay, I'm not going to do it, then that means that he forgot the shvuah, and that's why he's chayiv. If you remind him about an item, he said, hey, it's wheat, and that's why he stops. Mamish the same words. Nobody stops eating a cookie unless he made a shvuah. Nobody makes a shvuah. They're both they depend on each other. Ela loishna, doesn't matter what you reminded him. This is a very good question. How could a person make a mistake about something in the past? If he did it on purpose, he swore about the past and he was lying. Mezidu, he did it deliberately. If he had no idea that we already established onasu, his oinus, he shouldn't have to bring a carbon. And here comes the bomb chidush. To be remembered, this is a riddle of all riddles. He knows that what he's doing is asur. He knows he's not allowed to eat bread when he says, I'm not going to eat bread, and he does eat bread. He knows 100% he swore, and he knows it's asur. But he didn't go to the daf. I had no idea it's going to cost me $500. I thought I'm just doing a little isser here. Oh, you told me that I had to bring a carbon to the Beis HaMikdash, not only $500, but travel from Tzvat 4 days on a donkey all the way to the Beis HaMikdash. I wouldn't have done it. That's considered a shoygig on blio. Kimun baz the Omar shigas carbon shmash gaga. If you forget about a carbon, you didn't know about carbon, that's considered a shoygig. Says the Gemara. Let's just go until Baymene Ravina at least. Oh, sponsor. Turning into the last sponsor by Innovations LLC in honor of our sons Kalmo and Yisrael for learning Sanhedrin, Makkas, and Shevuos with their belly. Adar Global, still experts in international financial services. Anonymous in honor of the tzaddik whose name we cannot say, who shows us what it means to be a giver and a tzaddik. 2 more lines, Rabbi Isai. You can leave if you want, but we have to finish. No, this could go like Rabbana. Why do the argument say if you don't know that it's a carbon, it's not considered a shoygig? Why is it not considered? By a regular chatas, if a guy didn't know you have to bring a carbon if you forget Shabbos, whatever it is, the lav chidushu. That's not a chiddush. Over here it's a massive chiddush. The maisi carbon. Over here there's no chorus. Shabbos is chorus. Shabbos is chiv misa. So if you do b'shoygig, you have to bring a carbon. Over here it's just a lav. Swearing is a lav. So it's a chiddush. You have to bring a carbon b'shoygig on a lav. Where else in the Torah that if you do a lav, you have to on chaylev or whatever, you eat chaylev b'shoygig, you have to bring a carbon. The lav the maisi carbon. The alfinum avodah zara, because we learn from avodah zara, it has to be something that's, if you do it deliberately, it's kares, and if you do it by mistake, you bring a carbon. But in our case, it's only a lav, you have to bring a carbon. I feel Rabbanan might do. I would say that Rabbanan would also agree that that's considered shoygig. Why would I think that in this case, you know a lot, you learned a lot, you never thought for a second that you would have to bring a carbon on a lav, and that's considered a shoygig, even according to Chachamim. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.